I don't know where to put this. Yeah, I'll just leave it here for now. It's done. And what? Hold on.
You have one new message.
Hello, Mr. Lee. You're probably wondering who this is and why I'm leaving you this message. Let's just say I'm someone you don't want to be receiving a call from. As for why I'm leaving this message, we've noticed what you've been doing lately and gained an interest in your creations. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. We want access to your inventions in addition to your services in making more inventions. Doing so would lead to certain benefits. However, denying this offer will force us to terminate you and confiscate your inventions. Call me when you've made your decision, though I think you already know what the right one is.
Hello, interviews. And today, I'm going to be making a mind-racing game. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm doing this, let's just say I've got some surprise motivations. Let's get started, shall we? Starting off with the design, I'm going to be using one of these old-fashioned vintage cameras as the base design for it. Of course, they're not that old, and also there's plenty of cameras nowadays that are based off of these, but I think it looks cool, so we're going to use this one. Let's take a closer look. This one right here. See that?
Basically, the way I wanted to look is that I want it to look like an average camera with some electronic tube or something on top filled with like memory erasing liquid and all that. Other than that, I don't think I'm gonna really add anything else other than like some options and like switches and buttons and whatever on the back to really set the whole like memory erasing thing. So to begin, I got some old cardboard I stole from the delivery office down the street and used that to make the body of the camera. I then drew out the proportions of the front using a ruler to measure and also to straighten the lines. After that, I traced around the roll of tape I was using to make the perfect circle where I wanted the lens cylinder to be. I cut the front side out and proceeded to trace around it on another piece of cardboard to make the back side, making sure it was well aligned while doing so. After cutting the back side out too, I then drew out where I wanted the screen to go, making sure I had space to put the options on the back. After that, I cut out another piece of cardboard to serve as the back of the screen to make sure it's durable. Then I measured and cut out pieces for the sides of the camera. No, oops, I got a bit distracted here. After, I used the back and one of the sides to measure and cut out the bottom. Then I traced that to make the top. Using a long piece of cardboard, I rolled it along its creases to make the lens cylinder. Then I realized it was too short and made a smaller piece to add onto it. Reinforcing that with some tape, I glued it into the hole in the front side. I also cut out small pieces of cardboard for the buttons and details that I'll glue on later. While doing this, I also made an area to open and insert/remove a memory card. Finally, I assembled all the pieces I made so far, not gluing on the top side to make it easier to add the screen later. It was then when I realized that I forgot to cut out the lens frame and went to go do that. Moving on to the erasing tube, yes, I'm calling it that, I actually forgot to record a lot of it, so I'm gonna summarize it. I rolled up blue plastic and wrapped clear cyan plastic around that. Then I glued cardboard onto the ends, reinforcing it with the tape, before sticking black wire into both ends of the tube.
Perfect time.
I gave all the pieces a coat of silver spray paint I found in a dumpster before going to take a break to let the paint dry. After the paint dried, I covered part of the front with electrical tape to replicate the black pattern on the front of the camera from the source image. I then moved on to adding black film on the front of the lens to make it look all shiny and lens-like. I used that same black film for the screen by placing it on top of the cardboard piece from earlier and placing it behind the back. I then painted the back side entirely black and finally attached the top. After, I stopped holes in the sides and attached the abrasion tube. Now that it's almost done, I only need to add the buttons and labels in the back, which I did with tape, marker, and pencil. I also decorated the memory card a bit, but only a little bit. And now that's it! It's finally done! And so is this dang recording. Jeez, it took hours just to record all the audio for me voicing over.
And that's it! The memory erasing camera is now complete. And all here it is in all this glory. Completely done. You got the options on the back to change the amount of memory you want to erase, whether it is minutes, hours, days, months, or years. Oh, and by the way, all this is confidential, so smile for the camera.
Alright, I made what you wanted me to. How do I send it to you?